Sometimes, the greatest love stories aren't about finding someone perfect. They're about remembering why you chose them in the first place, even when the world, and life itself, tries to make you forget. We all know the honeymoon phase. The late-night text, the spontaneous trips, the kind of laughter that makes your stomach hurt. For Mark and Clara, that phase lasted for years. They were one of those couples. The ones who finished each other's sentences, who could communicate with a single glance. Their love wasn't a firework, it was a warm, steady flame. Then came life. Jobs got more demanding. The tiny apartment was replaced by a house in the suburbs. The spontaneous trips became meticulously planned vacations. The late-night conversations turned into exhausted silence. They were still a team, but it felt like they were just managing a household together, not building a life. And the intimacy, well, it became a routine. A physical release at the end of a long, stressful week. It wasn't bad. It wasn't unhappy. But it lacked the soul it once had. It was an act, a habit, an obligation. And somewhere in the quiet, Clara started to feel a chill. She missed the intimacy. She missed her husband. And then came a Saturday morning, much like any other. Mark woke up with that familiar fire. That "I want you now" kind of energy. No words, no "good morning my love," just his hands finding her breast, his lips finding her neck. He flipped her over like he owned every inch of her body, and in that moment, he felt a flicker of the old him, the old us. He was ready. Hungry. Lost in a deep, familiar desire. But Clara wasn't. She lay there, perfectly still. Not pushing him away, but not reaching for him either. Her body was a silent protest. Her mind was a whirlwind of memories, of what they used to be, of how far they drifted. He paused, his breath warm on her skin. He could feel her stillness. It was a cold shock. "Babe, what's wrong?" he asked. Her voice was soft, barely a whisper, but heavy with a weight he couldn't understand. "Us," she responded. He pulled back, his brow furrowed in confusion. "Us? What do you mean?" "We are fine." That simple word. Fine. It felt like a lie. "I know you think so. We're a great team. We pay the bills. We make sure the kids get to their soccer games," she said, looking straight at him. She inhaled deeply, and the words came out, wrapped in a truth so raw it made her voice tremble. "You're amazing in bed, Mark. You still do that thing with your hands that drives me crazy. And I know you're faithful, that you'd never look at another woman. But marriage isn't just about orgasms and moans. I miss the intimacy we used to have. The laughter. The pillow talks. The spontaneous text that made me smile in the middle of a bad day. The real connection." He stared at her, speechless. It was as if she were speaking a foreign language. He had seen their physical connection as the last bastion of their love. He had poured all his energy into it, thinking it was enough. "I don't want to be just the mother of your kids or the body you climb into at night," she continued with some emotion. Her voice broke. "I want our late-night talks back. I want your undivided eyes. I want you to see me, Mark. Not just my curves, not just my body. I want you to see me." He felt a painful pang of recognition. She was right. He hadn't been seeing her. He'd been so focused on providing, on being a good husband in the practical sense, that he'd forgotten to be a good partner in the spiritual sense. Mark looked at her deeply. "I didn't realize," he muttered, his voice cracking. I've been so focused on the project at work. I thought if I could just get this promotion, get us a bigger safety net. I thought I was doing what was best for us." The silence that followed was heavy with years of unspoken words. "Life gets busy, yes," she said gently. "But people make time for what matters. A woman doesn't need a lot, Mark. She just needs intentional love. Stroke my hair while we watch a movie. Look into my eyes and tell me you love me. Pray with me. Play with me. Make me laugh. Make me feel like your wife, not just a weekend sex doll. He was quiet for a long time, the words replaying in his mind. Weekend sex doll. The phrase was a dagger to his heart. It wasn't what he intended. But in the quiet truth of it, he knew it was what he had become. He reached out and, for the first time in a long time, gently stroked her hair, really looked at her. Really saw her. "I'm so sorry, my love," he whispered, his eyes welling up. "You're right. I miss us, too," he said, reaching for her hand. He pulled her into his arms, and she finally leaned into his chest. They lay there, not for lust, but for comfort. And for the first time in what felt like forever, they talked. No rush. No agenda. No moans. Just emotions. They talked about the project, the promotion, his fears, and her loneliness. They laughed about a silly memory. They cried a little. They prayed, his arm wrapped around her, his heart finally reconnected to hers. And later, when their bodies finally met again, it wasn't sex. It was an embrace of their souls. A slow, gentle communion. It was a celebration of their shared vulnerability, of the fact that they hadn't lost each other after all. Since that day, everything changed. The bedroom became a sacred space again. Not just a place for an act, but a sanctuary for their connection. A safe place where desire meets depth, and passion meets purpose. They made love, not just sex. Because they finally understood that the most powerful thing you can do for someone you love isn't just to want them, it's to see them. To hear them. To choose them every single day, with intentional love.
Thank you for watching. Do share to your friends and family, and please subscribe to our channel.